August 23rd, 2018. This is the right side of campus on at SBR Sports Picks on Twitter, sportsbookreview.com. Welcome in. We are just literally, folks, hours away right now from starting the IFBC. Should be a lot of fun. Most people en route from Costa Rica, en route from the continental United States, also en route from Canada, overseas. Some people coming in from Europe. Going to be a big added adventure here. I'll be your host today on the right side of campus. Donnie Rightside, my partner in crime, usually the big man on campus, having a little bit of problems down in Ocean City today with the internet. So I'll be running a solo mission. We'll have some fun, some really good topics to talk about today. When we get down to Fremont Street tomorrow, at this time, I'll be in the friendly skies flying out to Las Vegas for Fremont Street. As you know, Fremont Street, a lot of casinos, a lot of action, a lot of fun, a lot of different sports books. So we always like to say, keep your options open. Hey, look, you might get over to the D down there and they might have a game for the weekend that's 3.5. You might travel back over to Binions. They might have a game at 4. Shop for the best book out there. Keep your options open. Now, sometimes it's not that easy, but if you're still working out of the offshore market, Bovada is a book that you're going to want to check out because obviously the lines usually tilted in the favor of the underdog as opposed to the favorite. So, hey, look, coming down to Major League Baseball down the stretch, also coming into football season, if you can steal a half point just by shopping around for a book, use Bovada. Keep that in your arsenal. Once again, the promoted sports book of the week for the right side of campus here on sportsbookreview.com is Bovada. And let's have some fun here on the show. So I'll be spinning around. Welcome in. We'll be hitting the chat box a lot, having a little bit of fun out here. But as I said, again, an action-packed show. We'll go over some Major League Baseball, take a look at some games today, some good pitching matchups on target. My Philadelphia Eagles in action tonight against those Cleveland Browns in Game 3 of the preseason, which, as we know from football gamblers and just football fans all alike, this is really the only game that you're going to want to watch, typically, is Game 3. Unless you're trying to watch, Baker Mayfield's going to get some action games 1 through 3, maybe even 4 or so. But outside of that, most NFL teams, you circle the wagons for Game 3. You get a nice little dress rehearsal on the National Football League to see. So I'm going to retweet and get some of these links out. If you're in the chat box watching live out there, please feel free to do so as well. Let me shoot this out here live. All right, so we should get some people in here. We'll have a little bit of fun. Again, you're just tuning in right now. Usually it's me and the big man, but as I said again, he is down the shore, relaxing, getting ready. Internet problems always prop up at the last time. So if he can join the show, which I don't think he's going to, fantastic. But hopefully maybe he's on his phone out there, can chime in, because it's always nice when he comes in and harasses me when I have to do a solo mission on here, or maybe even can come in and harass somebody in the chat box. Should be a lot of fun. So we will get the show moving here. But again, tomorrow, IFBC starts. Me and the big man will be flying out together from the city of brotherly love all the way to Las Vegas, getting in the early afternoon tomorrow. A lot of fun setup, as you know. Great panelists going on Saturday and Sunday. Nice little meet and greet on Friday night. We got poker tournament set up. Reverend Bob Levy out there is going to provide some comedic entertainment at the banquet. So it should be a lot of fun. If you were anywhere near or even viewed the IFBC last year from Costa Rica down in Escazú, it was a fantastic time. Met up with a lot of good people. We expect a lot of the same of that, times probably 5 or 10 at this point, because it's a lot easier to get to Las Vegas than it is to Costa Rica at that time last year. But as we know, Sportsbook Review always puts on an A-plus event. It was fantastic last year. Expected to be even better this year. A lot of participants, a lot of people heading down. Look, a lot of people already in Las Vegas at this point. Feeling a little bit left out of the party. But hey, always save the best for last. Me and the big man will fly in. We'll be just fine tomorrow. Get in plenty of time to relax and show up and meet all the good people at SBR, and also everybody, chat box, forum members. Can't wait to get it started and have a lot of fun. Welcome to the chat box, Matty Varnum, Alex, Larry, Greg, Crazy Rocket, Martin, Corey. Fantastic stuff. And the first thing I do want to bring up is it's about damn time. It's about damn time that we struck gold with a round table wager yesterday, and it couldn't have went any better. Told everybody to get on the under 4 in the Dodgers-Cardinals game. At the end of 5, it was 0-0. About damn time. Didn't have to sweat it out or just take a loss. It went our way for that one. So congratulations if you tailed on that, picked up a little bit of McDonald's, Wendy's, Taco Bell money, whatever you put down on it. Was a lot of fun. So I did want to get that out of the way. I believe also in that one yesterday, Ian took down a nice win, and the big man on campus and Drew, I believe Saturday goes their play of the day on the roundtable in college football action. So let's have some fun and get into it right now. Now, look, I don't know, maybe you're living under a rock. Maybe you don't have cable TV. Maybe you live, in the Outer Banks somewhere and you're just on the beach and you're chasing wild horses down there. I don't know. But if you live under a rock, Urban Meyer news came up last week. Seems like it was a long time coming. I believe, what was it, August the 1st, where Urban Meyer was sent home with a paycheck, which is always nice. Hey, look, you got a job out there that's going to send you home for a couple weeks of free vacation and with a paycheck. We all know the intent and the purpose of this was to send it away, let the firestorm cool off, circle the wagons, because Ohio State is big money football. It wasn't any surprise at the end of it that Urban Meyer was suspended for 3 games. I was actually surprised that Urban Meyer even got suspended at all. But, when you're trying to save public face out there, that's what you have to do. Give the perception that you guys are strict. You guys are, by the letter of the law, we're not going to allow this and stand for it. But I thought yesterday, Ohio State actually looked much better August 1st than they did yesterday. I thought the press conference was a complete sham because in the United States, in the world, people are quick to forget and people are quick to forgive people. If you just came out and said you made a mistake, look, it's not going to happen again. People can live with that and move on. But the whole charade, and look, I don't blame Ohio State. It's the factory that feeds it. It's literally the lifeblood of Columbus is Ohio State, the alumni, the football team, the money it brings up. Are you going to fire Urban Meyer? Are you going to try to fire him and then have to pay him $40 million? Are you going to create a scandal and try to get another football coach? Because we all know Urban Meyer's a really, really good football coach. There's no question about Urban Meyer's a great football coach. But sometimes it's just about morality. It's not even about the law. He didn't break any laws out there. It's just about the face of your franchise, the football team of Ohio State, and a guy that can't lose on the football field. How much will you do to protect him or turn a blind eye? Because it's an awful look right now. Everywhere you turn on the news, Urban Meyer's not going to jail. He's not doing anything. But when you break it down to its common core, is if you have a guy on your staff that's on the regular, kicking the shit out of his wife and everybody knows it, what are you keeping him around for? You're not going to lose your job. He's the guy that's going to lose his job over there. But what kind of stain are you putting on the program, even your legacy or even your manhood or your human being? Can you imagine being at home and your brother-in-law is kicking the shit out of your sister on a day-to-day basis, but your brother-in-law, gives you good investment tips so you don't want to get involved in it and you're going to look the other way? That's all comes down to morality. I mean, it's not about being a football coach on the field. And if Urban Meyer was coaching, let's just say, Iowa State, and they were 3-9 last year, he would have been fired. Iowa State would have said, we're not going to tolerate this. But then again, Iowa State is not coming in and getting, hundreds of millions of dollars for their football program. It's just a bad look all the way around. I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of stuff out there in the chat box and across the internet. And look, the next big story is going to come in the next couple of days, and we might not even remember this at this time. But just an overall bad look by Ohio State and an awful press conference where nobody apologized for anything. And if you read the tea leaves and behind the scenes, Urban Meyer thinks he shouldn't have been suspended for anything. So my question with the whole Ohio State scandal is, if nobody did anything wrong, why is he even getting suspended 3 days? If you didn't think it was that big of a deal, what's the problem here? You're going to hold your athletes to a much higher standard, which I believe they were showing the placards from around the training facility or the locker room that basically says, if you don't treat women right, or you don't hit a woman, or if you do, you're out of here. But that doesn't pertain to upper level management that's going to bring in the big dollars like Urban Meyer does. Or he says, the best part about it, wrote a couple notes down here from Urban Meyer. Memory loss due to medication. So let me get this straight. He can remember stuff on the football field, but with anything off the football field, he has a strained memory because of medication. Also, what happens when the news breaks? You can get back to the Tom Brady scandal right here. Tom Brady, there's no question in mind. Everybody believes the same thing. Same thing with OJ. You look at Tom Brady. He deflated the footballs. Maybe he didn't do it personally, but instructed the trainers to do so. He liked the football that was a little bit deflated. It's no big deal. The commissioner, Roger Goodell, goes to Tom Brady and says, Tom, look, we're going to suspend you. We know that you did this stuff. Come out, admit guilt. We'll give you a 1-game suspension. We'll put everything behind us. But Tom Brady wags his finger. I didn't do anything wrong, so they rub him through the coals. And also, could you even fault? What happens if Tom Brady comes out and goes, look, I won a lot of Super Bowls. I want to win a lot of Super Bowls. And I want to win a lot more Super Bowls. I deflated the football. I wanted an advantage in that game. I wanted to win so badly that I'm going to cut every corner to try to get it done. And most men out there be like, damn, you know what? That's really messed up. He did that, but I can kind of feel you on that. Or if you're Barry Bonds out there and says, look, everybody was passing me by. I'm one of the greatest hitters in baseball. I owed it to my contract, my fan base, and my city to do everything I could to be the best possible player to lead us to a title. Yes, I took the cream in the clear. I bent the rules out there. I'm sorry about it, but I wanted to be the best player I could be. People would say, oh, Barry Bonds, you scumbag. And the next day, most people are like, I can believe it. I can certainly see about that. Same thing in this situation. What's wrong with admitting guilt at the press conference? I missed it. This guy who I had under my right wing right here, he beat the hell out of his wife for a decade. I turned a blind eye. That can't happen anymore. I'm going to devote time to make sure I'm up on my domestic violence information, how to prevent it, how to check it out, how to look for it. We faulted here at Ohio State. We let a lot of people down, including Courtney Smith. It won't happen again. I'll accept my suspension. We'll move on, and we'll be a better program for it. Instead, you know what you got out of Urban Meyer yesterday? I don't think I did anything wrong. And the best question was the last question overall that was asked to Urban Meyer, like basically about Courtney Smith. And he just said, I just wish we weren't in this position, which basically means I wish nobody even ever brought this up. And I don't really care what happens to one of my assistant coaches if he beats his wife. And the best part about it is the same thing in Philadelphia with the whole Brian Colangelo situation where he had to go, or it's his wife's burner accounts. If you're married out there or you have a close relationship with your girlfriend, she lives with you, and over a 10-year period, somebody is sending you text that says somebody close to your husband is kicking the shit out of me nightly. She didn't share that information with her husband and nobody knew. It's amazing. Coaches know every single play that's coming on the field during game day, but somehow have no idea what goes on off the field about guys they probably spend more time with than their wife or their family. So that's all I'm going to say about the Ohio State University. Just leave you with one last thought on that. Big business always rules. Money always rules. In the same type of environment that you're going to look in a day-to-day basis, take a look at Hollywood right now. Take a look at the guys that have money out there. Sexual abuse charges, sexual harassment charges. If you have high-powered lawyers and money, you stroke a check and it goes away. The everyday Joe with those same problems or issues, they're getting locked away for 7 to 10 years because they can't defend themselves, or they can't just write a check for a few $100,000 or a few $1 million to make the problem go away. Big money is always going to rule, and no surprise at Ohio State. Urban Meyer feeds a lot of people there. They're not going to turn their back on them. They're going to look for every way to keep it there. That's just the name of the game. Welcome in, folks. If you're watching out there, Lloyd's in here, Corey's in here, Brad's in here, Armin's in here, Chris Carter's in here, Brandon Cummings is in here. So, it's nice. It popped last night. It's a very passionate subject. I know a lot of people. And look, Ohio State fans are going to defend it to the hill. Urban Meyer could have beat his wife on the 50-yard line yesterday, or during a football game, and they would have said, you know what, he's doing that to make sure his team is in check and all this stuff. It's just the way it's going to be. The hometown team is going to defend their guy until the last straw is broken, or until he goes 6-6, and then you can throw him out the door. So just the world we live in. It's crazy at that point. Also, let's keep it moving here. Look at the NFL. Dallas Cowboys, for a few years, thought to be or having one of the best offensive line in the league, and I agreed with it. A lot of chinks in the armor. Big left tackle, all pro, always struggling with a back injury now. You're seeing Zach Martin out there with the hyperextended leg and almost blowing his knee out a little bit, down heading into the season now injury-wise. Now you get Travis Frederick, one of the best centers, if not the best center in the NFL now, with an autoimmune disease, which could keep him out, folks, anywhere to a week or two through all the way through the season. That's scary stuff right there. If outside of the quarterback of your offensive line is your center. Excuse me, and he's one of the best out there. So that is certainly going to hurt the Dallas Cowboys. It's a shame. I mean, no, look, even when you're rivals, I wish, you play Madden over the years, you can turn injuries off. I wish in the NFL, there's just a way to turn injuries off so we could just make it into the regular season and get on with our lives and play competitive football, and everybody has an equal chance to get out there. That is an awful, awful injury. It's a scary one as well. If you're looking at baseball too, I believe Leonis Martin goes into the hospital. He's done for the year also. So, I mean, we're not talking about, nicking up a knee or pulling a hamstring or a calf or doing anything like that. I mean, this is life-threatening stuff where it's such a crazy disease that you could be back within 2 to 3 weeks, or you might sit the entire year, depending on you take to the medication and stuff. So scary stuff down there for one of the best football players in the NFL. And I know there are a lot of Cowboy fans out there, but that's going to be impactful. Look, I was a little bit higher on the Dallas Cowboys, but the more of this stuff comes out day to day, when you're built on your offensive line and a damn good running back with a mobile quarterback that, a little bit slight on the arm right here without his big weapon in Des Bryant, who I don't think is really a big loss now that they cut bait with him. It's going to be interesting for the Cowboys, but that doesn't help because, as we say in football, you're only as good as your lines, right? D-line, get pressure. Offensive line, keep the pressure away from your quarterback. That's going to be a massive, massive injury. Brian Rowe in the chat box there. I'll see you at IFBC. Yeah, we'll be taking off tomorrow. We should have certainly a lot of fun. Another interesting topic here that comes up. Looks like it's been in the making for quite a while, folks. Tiger versus Phil. Awesome, right? in 2001, 2002, 2004, 2008, 2009. Probably a lot of fun. We'd watch it. It just reminds me a lot of Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. Boy, we wanted that fight like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and we got it too damn late. And we got it with Manny Pacquiao with one arm fighting, who tried to hide it from the public. And we didn't get the fight that we deserved that should have taken place well before that. Same thing here with Tiger and Phil. Two of the biggest draws in golf, there's no question about it. They put it at a good time over Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Sneak it in there. Be like, hey, you know what? They're going to play for $9 million, which is not putting up either way. So, these guys are worth hundreds of millions of dollars a piece. Is it fun? Do they want to win playing for the $9 million? Yeah. But they're playing right now in the FedEx Cup for a prize purse. The winner, I believe, gets $10 million. So it's not that big outside the realm. Would have been a lot more fun if they each had to put up their own money and then took it down like a poker tournament. Or if you saw my tweet yesterday, why not the WWE? Why not make it fun? The loser of this tournament, or loser of this match, I should say, both these guys in their 40s, has to stay away from golf. Just gets banished from golf. See ya. Oh my God, a one-off here between Tiger and Phil. It's the 18th hole. If Mickelson drains this 6-footer, Tiger Woods can never play golf again. That's for pretty good entertainment. Now let's take a look at it from the perspective of the guy who wants to tune in. Hey, maybe you want to gamble. You saw the odds yesterday, right? You can even check the at Sportsbook Review. Go online or go through the Twitter account. You saw what the odds were yesterday. What, Tiger up to like minus 180? Tiger should win that, man. Phil Mickelson's ancient at this point. I mean, Tiger's old, but Phil's ancient. Well, we all know Phil's a gambler. He's used to playing for high stakes, gambles damn near every time he goes out on the golf course. Hey, I'll play for $10,000 a hole. Hey, I'll play you for a, this or that. He's doing it all the time, so he's used to gambling. So it should be a fun atmosphere. But how many people are actually going to watch this, right? Hey, look, we're going to put it on CBS, NBC, Fox, ABC, whatever. Good. All right. It's on. Let me flip it on. Are you kidding? Pay-per-view? Who out there in the chat box? I mean, you guys are watching this stuff out here. Pay-per-view. Tiger Phil. Battle of the Geezers at Caesars out in Las Vegas, right? Shadow Creek Golf Course. Who's paying for that? Are you paying for that? And what would you pay for that? If it's on TV, I would view it. Would I watch all 18 holes? No. But I would still tune in and say, what's going on in this? And let me check it out. Similar like I do in baseball games and football games if it does get interesting. I don't understand the concept of the pay-per-view. Are you telling me on a holiday weekend like that, people are going to set aside time and knock out like $19.99 or $29.99 to watch this? Is anybody out there going to do that there? I mean, it doesn't even physically make sense. Like, they're two big draws as it is. You can't throw that on Fox on Thanksgiving weekend at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and sell ad rights to American Express, Visa, Nike, Callaway Golf. They would buy into that. You'd make plenty of money. And of course, with the money coming up from the actual TV network to pay for it to cover the $9 million. The pay-per-view, I would love to see the numbers on the pay-per-view for this. Because again, this isn't two guys in their prime. It's not like you're going to put the pay-per-view, the Super Bowl on pay-per-view and everybody has to buy it. Or they want to see WrestleMania, you know what I mean? Or a Conor McGregor fight on pay-per-view or something like that. This is old man Tiger and old man Phil. What are we paying for out there? So if you have any questions in the chat box or any comments about that, I would love to see it. Brandon Cummings, nobody wants to watch that crap. We can watch highlights on YouTube. There you go. I'd bet Tiger and I'd pay $20. You know what? That might be a sound investment there because as much as I don't think Tiger Woods is going to win another big-time golf tournament, he can win next year on that Florida swing by playing at Bay Hill with a couple of the, old-timers out there on the course, drinking their Arnold Palmers and, maybe he'll beat Fred Couples down the stretch and it'll be a lot of fun to watch. But in these big-time tournaments, I don't think but this is one that Tiger Woods should be able to win. He can out-hit Phil out there. I mean, maybe, pressure situation doesn't really get to Tiger Woods. It's one-on-one. It should be good theater, but again, folks, 15 years too late, man. 15 years too late. Ace Farmer out there, he's going to buy it. Say 10, anyone have an IFBC ticket for sale? I do have one on the black market, and I will give you a copy of my Nick Papagiorgio driver's license there that you can take and try to get into it. So hit me up, starting at $4.99 on eBay. I do have a auto buy at $999 for my badge with Nick Papagiorgio named on there. Blaze Edwards, this pay-per-view, kidding me, right? I'm not kidding. I shocked me yesterday. I saw Phil Mickelson get on Twitter yesterday, and him and Tiger Woods have a fabricated back and forth, which was obviously done by an ad company or somebody with them. It probably wasn't even between those two guys. But I saw the pay-per-view. I had to do a double take. I couldn't even believe it was out there, man. I really, really couldn't believe it was out there. Now, Say 10, he probably thinks I bet you Say 10 is going to make some story up that said he's actually going to be there live and maybe on the bag with Phil Mickelson. So we'll see what comes back up there. Giorgio, the two biggest YouTubers are boxing in Manchester this Saturday. Logan Paul minus 130 is a lock. Yeah, I'm not too big into that. I'm not even sure who those two people are, but no, I hear you on that. So, I mean, yeah, but look, if it's free, look, when you get in life right, it's free, it's me. You know, a lot of people live by that moniker out there. I understand it. Put Tiger Phil on TV. I'll watch. Might little tweet about it. Have some fun. You know, we'll see how many fairways Tiger Woods misses. But, you know, at Shadow Creek, I'm not even sure if there is even any rough out there in the desert. So it should be a lot of fun to watch in a way because they are going to get after it. It's a lot of money. But when you already have banked hundreds of millions of dollars, is it really that stressful for both of them? Probably get out, have some fun, good for their marketing brands. You know, Phil Mickelson's out here wearing suit jackets to play golf tournaments now with his new apparel company. I'm sure that'll be a good look for them as well. But, hey, you know, right is right. Nighthawk on Hobb. Bet on Tiger Woods right now. He's like one more injury from never being this good again. This is it. Yeah, the only look, when you get older, we're not wine. Old men are not wine, man. We don't get better with age out there. You might get better 20 to 30, but after 30, starts to go down. It goes down quick. Take it from me as well. I used to be able to run around a lot. Now I can walk around a lot. That's basically the extent of my life at this point. On this one here, we'll keep it going here. Wisconsin wide receivers can't seem to catch a break either. Quintez Cephas suspended indefinitely, and now also Davis suspended another 2 games. They can't get it right at wide receiver. It seems like at Wisconsin, but some interesting news that comes up for that because there's a lot of news going on in college football. You know, the whole UNC scandal out there, people get suspended. And the whole key part is I know a lot of people like to try to analyze or jump on lines. You know, the games of the year, quote unquote, come out in Las Vegas with some early lines. There's so many suspensions, guys, in those first 2 weeks of the football season. It's hard to gauge because they don't have to share any information with you yet. At least in the NFL, like when a guy gets suspended for 4 games for substance abuse or something like that, you do know well ahead of time that it gets put out there. Sometimes you don't even know till game time if some of these kids are suspended or what they're even suspended actually for. So hopefully with the legalization of gambling nationwide as it leaks through, we'll get a little bit better information on that. So when you have your bet, you're going to roll in to Michigan State, and your quarterback better damn well be starting in that game, not in sweatsuit on the sideline because of some team violation that was never reported. Imagine the NFL trying to get away with that. You're lining up game 1 out there. Atlanta Falcons split up the Eagles. Let's get after it. Oh, by the way, Matt Ryan missed curfew last night. He's not going to play tonight. Jim, back to you in the box. Hey, gamblers, there you go. Matt Ryan's not playing tonight. Yep, it can't happen there. So can't happen. All right, keep it going. Ginobili retiring. Is any question? Ginobili should have retired, 5 years ago? I don't even know how he still functions. He is a modern marvel. The more hair he loses, the better he seemed to get over his career playing with San Antonio. Same thing with Tony Parker, Tim Duncan. Must be something down in the water in San Antonio, or maybe their head coach is smart and doesn't let them play for damn near half the season, gives them rest and puts them on plane junkets out of town to get back in extra rest in time for the next game. So kudos to whatever they're doing down there in San Antonio outside of Kawhi Leonard's actually athletic trainer. Seems like they know how to prolong careers and get the most out of players with coaching and also from the athletic training side. As I said, again, outside of Kawhi Leonard. Some comments in the chat box. Randy Cummings, I would rather watch high school Texas football than that. High school Texas football, not too bad, man. Especially I made top pop on. Remember, anybody ever watch the Friday Night Lights? I know we all, probably all watched the movie, but also the TV show out there for a couple years. Wasn't too bad of a show. Lloyd, they should put Logan Paul in a remake of Stand By Me. Okay, all right. Ulysses Hayes says, morning, everybody. Brad Bourquin, wow, Wisconsin is a sneaky playoff team, pretty much shoe to be in the final win. Boy, they're going to be able to run the football. They got some backs. They got some big uglies up front. They got decent quarterback play. But damn it, give them a wide receiver, man. Come on. Damn, their wide receivers can't stay on the field. That's the game. Both of those guys would really help this football team this year, especially Quintez Cephas, who's a very good football player, but doesn't look like he's going to be in there tonight. So we'll flip it over from our morning headlines. Hopefully enjoyed that. Obviously buoyed by the whole Urban Meyer scenario out there. We'll hit a little bit of Major League Baseball. We'll go over some games that happened last night. How are they going to look forward over to today? Got some good day game action. NFL team preview today. We'll talk a little bit of NFL football. We could stray off the pace also with the big man not here. We'll talk a little bit of the Los Angeles Rams and what you guys think they're going to be up to this year. Obviously, chock full of talent, very good coaches. Do they take the next step this year as opposed to not being the targeted team last year to now being the team that is hunted? So we'll see what happens in all this stuff and also have some fun. And then, of course, the last thing we'll head today is off to the IFBC. Take a look overall. And a lot of people are in the air. Hey, look, as long as you're not flying Spirit Airlines, You're probably watching this show from the air. If you're traveling out to the IFBC, should have a lot of fun. And I'm not big on plane rides. Am I scared of plane rides? No. I've taken a lot of plane rides in my life. The one plane ride I never really mind are the ones going to like Florida, because it seems like once you get up in the air, you read a magazine, you listen to a couple of songs, and oh, here we go, we're on a descent down into Orlando if you're going to Disney World, or down to South Beach, or wherever you're going in Florida. But that full ride out to Las Vegas, man, just seems to me like it never, ever ends. I've been to Costa Rica twice in the past year. At least you get it divided up, or at least I didn't have a direct flight each time. So I had a connection flight in Miami and Charlotte, and it's not that bad because you get on the plane, you get up, you get down, you get to like relax, then you go back up, and it is what it is at that point. The only thing bad, if anybody's been to Costa Rica or flying, I guess, international, is once you get out of United States airspace, there's no internet, man, until you get to touchdown in Costa Rica. That was always a problem for me, but never worse is when you get on a Spirit flight and you don't have internet for the entire flight. If anybody's ever flown Spirit Airlines out, I mean, how much does it cost? Look, man, can I bring my own server? I'll put it in the plane. I won't charge any money. We can all get internet on the plane. Literally, Spirit, how much does it cost to have wireless internet on your plane? What is that about, man? Has anybody ever flown Spirit or an airline that said, yeah, or how about this one? My favorite one, which I've been on as well. United Airlines, Delta, American, whoever the hell you're flying with. When you get on the flight, and they try to hide it from you, right? You fly up in the air, you're already in the air, seatbelt light goes off, and you know what they tell you out there? Boom! We're having a problem with the internet service, so there will be no internet on the plane. This is your Captain Jim speaking. It's like, yo, come on. Like, you got me, man. You got me. Is there anything worse than being on a plane, a train, in a car, wherever the hell you're at, and you can't get internet service? Brutal, man. Brutal. Brandon Cummings, that loss in Philly killed me. I would have won over $2,200 on a 5-team parlay. Yeah, they should have won the game, man. Look. You can flip that, Federico. You can flip that down to that Major League Baseball placard, and we'll start talking a little bit of that. The Nationals, folks, come back and beat the Philadelphia Phillies. Just seems like a running joke at this point. Nationals supposed to wave up the white flag. They send Strasburg out there. The Phillies touch him up, but the bullpen gives it away again. You have your closer on the mound. You have a 1-run lead. You have 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Get out of the goddamn game. Old man Ryan Zimmerman, he must have just touched up a little bit of HGH and got back in there, because I believe that's his 3rd career walk-off home run winner versus the Philadelphia Phillies. That's a dagger. It's a 3-game lead now. Atlanta's up. That's a huge mountain to climb, and it doesn't get any easier today. Yes, look, say, hey, man, look, Phillies are going to send Nola to the mound. Needed it. But they're going to send Max Scherzer on the other side. You can't afford to go down 4 games because Atlanta's looking up right now. They're playing baseball the way you're supposed to play. Maybe the offensive bats aren't firing on all cylinders, but they're getting some decent bullpen pitching, getting some good starting pitching out there. That's how you handle it. Look, Nationals are a good team. They're talented. And when they wake up and play well, they're a tough team and a tough team to knock out. But you can't lose games to the Mets. You can't lose games to the Nationals when you have leads. You can't. But again, they're a young team. It's still going to come down to the end. Atlanta's going to go through their troubles. The Phillies are going to get hot. And you'll see in that last week, one of these teams will be 2-3 games up on each other, and they'll battle it out as they come down the stretch. So it still should be a lot of fun happening in there. Let's see. Frontier is worse than Spirit. Never flew Frontier, but I believe Gabe used to bitch and moan about Frontier and what they like old planes, and like they could barely get the engine started, and sometimes you don't even get a seat on the plane. You got to lay on the floor. I mean, we've heard all stuff like that as well. Al Cervic, last time I flew Frontier, the captain was pitching credit cards to a speaker. They do like that. Hey, we're going to pass around these credit cards out there. If you do sign up today, you get 20,000 free airline miles here with Frontier Airlines. Thank you for flying the friendly skies with airlines, and we will take care of you. And in just a few moments, we will have a charging, not a free, but a charging drink service. Debit cards only. This is your captain speaking. Yeah, we all been there. Handed out pamphlets. You get sold everything. I'm surprised they just saw like ad agents from like, T-Mobile, AT&T, Comcast up there that just try to sell you stuff in the air, as opposed to just picking out the little Air Mall catalog in there and trying to buy like a drone for $1,600 with a camera because you think it looks pretty cool, or maybe you had a little bit too much to drink on the plane and just buying random ties that tie themselves and sneakers that tie themselves. Air Mall can get you caught up there when your wife's on the plane with you. If you give her a couple things to drink, hide the Air Mall magazine because you don't need any of that. You don't need a flamethrower that's attached to a dog or can attach to a dog for $19.99. You don't need it. Just put the Air Mall stuff away out there. But no, Philadelphia Phillies should have won that. Braves escaped. Nice game last night. And look, sometimes baseball, folks, whether it's a pitch, whether it's a hit, whether it's a play made in the field, it is a game of inches. That game yesterday was 1-1 heading into the eighth inning, bases loaded, nobody out. The Braves only ended up scoring 1 run, which was pretty key to get that run, but it should have been a lot more. Because if you fast forward to the bottom of the ninth inning, Gregory Polanco was up and hit a bomb off that massive Clemente wall in right field, missing a home run by couldn't have been more than a foot. That game would have been tied up 2-2 going into extra innings. Braves burning some, good guys out there, closers and reliever guys, and it's anybody's ball game once it gets to extra innings. But that's a nice win by the Atlanta Braves. You need wins like that. It's almost identical to what the Phillies lost last night. You needed to win that game to stay within 2 games of the Braves. Now you're 3 back, but Atlanta Braves, good ball club, man. 1 through 8, they're going to be able to hit. If they can get some starting pitching, they're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. They're young. You know what I mean? They're going to have home field advantage because we're not really playing for a wild card here in the NL East, so to speak. You're playing for an actual division championship, which is going to give you home field advantage. And that goes a long way down in SunTrust. Get that nice heat and humidity down there in October. See if it plays out well, but it looks like the Nationals creeping back up into the spotlight, not too far back here, even though they quote-unquote threw up the white flag. We'll see if Strasburg can stay healthy. We'll see if Max can continue his dominance down the stretch. Can Gio snap out of his ridiculous malaise that he's been on over the past, I don't even want to say weeks, months, it seems like at this point. I believe yesterday the stat we had on the roundtable was 2-12 or 2-10 in his last 12 games. Something ridiculous like that there, man. Donnie needs the Garden Sasquatch. What, the one, we talking about the one up there, the Eagles one? Got a lot of Eagles paraphernalia in the background right there. See what happens on that. Soul Plane is fire. Okay. Nice haircut, Donnie. Yeah, you know what? I had to wait. What I did is, look, we all had these old man moves, right? We all operate in the same environment. We're all guys out here. When you have something coming up and you want your hair to look right, you don't have to be fresh out of the barber shop and, just got a cut up before you bounce. But you want to level it out. So usually I go to get my haircut maybe every 2.5 weeks. Usually ends up to be 3 weeks. But then I knew the IFBC was coming up, so I extended it out maybe 3.5 weeks over the past couple of weeks. Got a fresh cut this week just so I'm living life the right way out there once I get up in front of all my peoples and have some fun. You can't go up there overgrown or something ridiculous. But the worst part about how many times has this happened to people out there, right? You got a wedding this weekend, or how about this? You're going out on a date with a girl you want to impress, finally got her to go. They say, you know what? Before the date, we're going to go out 8 or 9 o'clock, going to meet up for some drinks with the lady friend. I'm going to go get my hair cut about maybe 3:30, 4 o'clock, look fresh at the gym, get a nice shave. Even though I already shaved this morning, I want to keep it tight. And you go get a haircut, and the person that does your hair jacks it up a little bit. And you're going in with that cut with the fade maybe too high. Or maybe they cut it too short up front. Or maybe the fade is just straight off where one side's higher than the other, and you know it. That's a tough feeling, man, when you sit there looking in the mirror like, I can't believe it. Because every once in a while, even though you get the same person to cut your hair, it's life, it's people. Same when you go to a restaurant where you always get a banging pizza, but every once in a while, the pizza is not up to what it usually is. It's sort of that little cat and mouse game where you get that real good haircut, but sometimes you get it jacked up. So I had to go out and make sure I got a haircut, look decent for the people out there. It is hot, so you want to get it a little bit shorter out there, but certainly want it to play. We all been there, right? We all been out there. Donnie, you ever think about life coaching? You see me on the internet out here. You see the way I live. And a lot of things with the life coaches out there, people wouldn't even understand where I'm coming from because I talk in sarcasm at least 50% of my day on Twitter and here on the channels. If you watch me in the Big Man on Campus every single day, as you should be here on the channels, we do have a lot of fun. But half of my fun, which you folks will all agree, is poking the big man on the opposite side of the screen. We say something out there like, Lloyd Masters out there. Lloyd, don't let big man talk down to you. So then Jeff gets a little bit fired up. Then we bring him back in and we have a lot of fun. If you can't read sarcasm, you're missing out on life, man. Sarcasm is the single best tool you can ever use in any environment. And when your sarcasm is really good, nobody even knows if you're being serious or not. So if I could offer a course as opposed to being a life coach out there, Al, I would actually like to be a sarcasm coach to try to get people through their lives and talk at least half your day in sarcasm. So, Donnie, thoughts on A's and Twins over? I know it's high, but Chaos struggles in there. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, Alex, that should be a decent game to look at, but I don't have enough information on the pitcher from the Minnesota Twins to make an effective opinion. When I like to look at games, I need a little bit of a track record. I mean, you guys well know, I don't bet that much in April in baseball season. Sometimes you don't know who's coming out, first or second or third start of the season, just trying to find their fastball, curveball, off-speed pitch. Maybe they're not stretched out yet. They can only go 5 innings instead of in August, they can go 7 innings. So I don't have too much on that game, but we'll talk about a couple of these baseball games. There are some really good ones here. Dodgers implode again in the bullpen. Just relax. Can we just relax on the Dodgers here? You wake up every morning, it's the same thing. Don't even check the score of the Dodgers game. Turn on the highlights of the 7th inning, or just block your phone from the first like 5 or 6 innings and look at the last 3 or 4. It's amazing how many leads that this shouldn't happen with a monster payroll team and a bullpen that should be good with one of the best closers in all of baseball, Kenley Jansen. This can't happen. The season is slipping away from the Dodgers. Let's talk about the Dodgers as well, man. Look, can we always all have it all? You go out there and you make the trade for Manny Machado. Not really helping all that much. It's not a huge swell that's going to lead you into the playoffs because they're struggling right now. But more importantly, getting good starting pitching, but getting bad bullpen and not timely hitting. As you know, I captioned the phrase team launch angle. When it's going really well for the Dodgers, they'll hit 5 solo home runs in a game and put up a lot more runs, 6, 7, 8 runs. When it's not going well for team launch angle, they put up like 1 or 2 runs because it's all built on the home run. And then you hear the other day, right? Nationals throwing up the white flag. You know what? We'll throw Bryce Harper on the waivers list, see what happens out there. So everybody out there is going, you know what? He's going to be a rental. He's going to be expensive. Nationals are probably going to want like 5 prospects back in order just to get this guy for like the last month of the season when it might not be a guarantee if we even make the playoffs. Why would we do that? Can you guys out there guess who the one team in baseball claimed Bryce Harper and was actually interested in making a deal for him? Yep, Los Angeles Dodgers. So you want Harper, you want Machado, you want the best player at every position. Doesn't throw damn caution into the wind. Forget about it. We just want the best players possible. I thought that was just hilarious when it actually came down to it. A guy like Daniel Murphy, not expensive for the rest of the year, and you want to pick him up in a fire sale. Nice move by the Cubs. He's not going to play every day, but it's damn good veteran bat. Guy that's been there, done that before. He's going to hit for you down the stretch. That's a good move. But I got to laugh when the Dodgers claimed Bryce Harper. Like, do you have enough players on your team at this point? Can you make it work? How about you just fix your bullpen? How about you go claim a guy in the bullpen that's actually going to help you out at this point? So, hilarious. Walla Walla Doe's killing it solo, Donnie. We're having some fun here. Look, there's no pressure. Look, man, we're got a nice producer down there in Costa Rica handling it. But I'm sure some of the bigger wig guys are already off to Las Vegas. They're probably watching right now, sitting on a plane a few thousand miles above the earth, saying, hey, look, Donnie, right, where's the big man on campus? Donnie, yeah, we're holding it down here. We'll be there tomorrow. We'll have a lot of fun. But I know a lot of people, Ian's in flight. I saw Stooch came in here yesterday. He's in flight. A lot of more people in flight in this. Ace Farm, USC is going to be awful this year. Say-10, look, if you follow our chat boxes a lot, Say-10 is one of the biggest UCLA backers in the country. So I think he believes that as well. So, look, if you ask a question and go around the city of Los Angeles, more times than not, they will tell you UCLA runs the city of Los Angeles. So some nice word for thoughts. Kyle Hamburg. Kyle, I don't know, maybe is he flying it? Kyle, you're flying in tomorrow, I believe. So we'll be in the same flight plans, arriving at the same time there. And we'll be sure to meet up at the bar and we'll have some fun. Chief Picks room right next to BMOC. There you go. Look at that. Yes. If you haven't heard, the BMOC is going to be on floor number 1, room number 1, where every time you go to the elevator, you can go right by BMOC's door, knock on his door. The thing that he likes the most, folks, the BMOC, if you can do it to him, slip a note under the door that says you're an emerging handicapper and you'd like to be a part of something special. And give your records that aren't tracked, like you hit 70 or 80% last year in all sports. He loves that. Big man on campus is always accepting applications in whatever part of life. If you see BMOC on the strip out there and the game started, we joked about it yesterday, tell him, great pick, man. Can't believe you're on the over. Even though the kickoff just happened, give him a little bit of good hijinks right there. It's always a lot of fun to have. Yes. BMOC is having there you go. Yeah. BMOC is having an open. I forgot. Yes. Thank you, Corey Kelly. Look, if you guys haven't heard, Friday night, BMOC's room, he's got a DJ coming from Philadelphia. He's got his barber coming from Lancaster. We got a couple of boys down from the block in South Philly heading out there. An open party. Now look, and he's not even charging $5 a head. As we like to say, you're going to have the fruit punch that's spiked with grain alcohol. We'll make sure we have that there. What, Everclear, I believe, was that what it's called? I'm so old from college. I believe it was Everclear that we used to use in the punch. And then you just had some stale ass keg of Bush or, something ridiculous like that over there. We're not even charging $5 a head. It's an open house welcoming party, BMOC's room. You guys can't go wrong right there. You guys cannot go wrong. And the good thing about right now, BMOC, he hasn't popped his head in here. So obviously internet issues are still a problem. So it's not going to have anything idea of what we're saying right now. So why not? Let's get that open house going in BMOC's room. He's got plenty of room staying by himself. Can really hook it up out there, man. It should be a lot of fun. But no, if you are going to Las Vegas, if you're on your way, but the best part about it, even if you're not, we are going to be streamed live for the entire convention. So it's going to be fun to check in. And the best part about it, too, is usually I get a nice seat in the back. Like last year at the IFBC, I sat all the way in the back of the table, had my computer laptop out. So I was going back and forth with everybody in the chat box because it is a long day. But it's a lot of good information, a lot of people that you want to meet, you have fun with, have some laughs. And there'll be, Saturday, 3 or 4 different panels, and on Sunday I believe it's 2 panels, but I'll be on my laptop the entire time having fun with you guys in the chat box. So check it out. It will be streamed live. A lot of good information and in a different environment. Usually you see my big ass head here on the screen in my home office. It'd be nice to see me back up there on stage, same way it was for IFBC last year. You won't see big mans, Michael Jordan or his Biggie Smalls poster in the background. He'll be up on stage with Joe Lisi. Peter Loshak added to the college football chat. So it'll be him, Pete, Lisi, Drew Martin, a lot of good people on there. So we'll have some fun with that one. I'll be on the NFL side of things on Sunday. And, the best part about it is Sunday for me, right? We're the last panel. You can equate this to like high school, grade school, middle school, right? My panel is the equivalent of the last day of school, the last period where the teacher throws on the DVD, or the teacher back in my day throws on the VHS tape. Or if you're even farther back, the laser disc. You guys remember the laser disc? It was the size of a freaking record. Throws that on some anonymous thing, and everybody's looking at the clock, waiting for it to hit, your half day at 12 o'clock where you can get off for summer break. So we'll try to liven it up, have some fun. And it's going to be one of the easiest panel that I'm ever going to have to do. It's an hour long to talk NFL football, rule changes, how we approach betting. Whale Capper's going to be in that with me. Gabe's going to be in. Kelly and Vegas going to be in. I'll be hosting it, so we'll be throwing it around. Should be a lot of fun. We'll take some stuff out of the chat box there if anybody has some questions for any of the panelists at any time. Hopefully be able to hit it. And also the people in the audience should be able to ask questions. But it's an hour. It's going to go by like this. Like, look, it's 10:42. I've been talking by myself here for 42 minutes and just going over monotonous stuff. We're going to have 4 people on stage for 1 hour covering 32 NFL teams. Your head might spin, but we'll try to get through as much things as we possibly have. Not true, Don. I'd be all good. See that? Thank you. Yes. All ears for me. All ears for our panel. We're talking NFL out there. We're going to have fun. Hopefully we give you some winners. Hopefully we do some stuff like that and make it all work. But we have some stuff. Yeah, thank you, Steve. Save the best for last. There you go. Love it. For me, it was a film. Yeah, damn, Larry. What are we talking, like 1977, huh? 1978 film projectors. And how much, by the way, bringing that up, before we get through baseball and see what we have for the last 15 minutes of the show, how excited were you back in 4th grade, 5th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade? Like they would bring in, like you get into the room, like the bell would ring, you would change classes. You get into the next room and you see the TV that's strapped down like a gurney on an aluminum push tray that comes in and out of the room when you knew you were going to watch. Like it didn't even matter what the video was, man. You could watch Abraham Lincoln. You could watch something that was ridiculously boring. But the minute you walked into your classroom and saw the TV and the VCR, it was like vacation, man. God damn, it was like vacation. Donnie, DM me your number on Twitter. What are we dating out there, Brian? Huh? What's going on over there? I'll get in touch with you. DM, you got my DM out there. Just DM me through Twitter. If IFBC 2019 will be in Atlantic City, I'll be there at all costs. Yeah, me good. I'll just have to drive, man. I could drive. I don't even have to stay down there. I don't even have to stay at the hotel. I could go back and sleep in my own crib. But no, it would be great if it was in Atlantic City. Put that right on the boardwalk, the beach right there. Whether it be the Ocean Resort, the Hard Rock, Borgata. We would have a great time if it was in Atlantic City. It's nice that it floats around down in a tropical environment in Costa Rica, flipped over to Las Vegas this year. So it will be a lot of fun to have. I tell us, last day of Special IFBC, no donkey shows. Yeah, who knows? Who knows if we'll be out there? We should just bring in a donkey out there. But keep it moving here on here. Houston Bats come alive yesterday. Altuve gets in the lineup. Any surprise? They scored double-digit runs. Nope. As I predicted all along, even through this terrible, terrible downturn, the Oakland A's are going to come up a little bit short in that division compared to the Houston Astros. Just a better ball club. They're going to get good pitching down the stretch. That lineup's going to come back intact. They're going to hit. The Astros have been there, done that, won the World Series. They'll recover. They should be fine heading through there. Red Sox roll. Let me just rinse, repeat every day. Come on the air. Hey, Red Sox roll. Yeah, what the Red Sox do you say? Yeah, they won by 8 runs. Yep. That sounds about right. Yesterday, the Yankees lost in a disaster display down in Miami, but they're not playing for the division. Get healthy, get right, set your pitching rotation down the stretch. You're going to win the wild card. So no harm, no foul in that one. But, baseball last night, if we flip it down one more time there to Major League Baseball today, got a couple good ones up there. Phillies and the Nationals are going to start in the afternoon. And if you're looking at this game, I believe, let's get some updated numbers here, because I thought that over-under was pretty low to begin. And Nola Scherzer, it's at 7 right now. So 3-3 on each side. You're going to get yourself at least a push. The one thing that's interesting is Aaron Nola is lights out at home. I mean, lights out at home. Leaks a little bit on the road, but still an upper-level pitcher. Both of these guys, 30-day metrics, 3.77 xFIP for Nola, max at 2.44. The Phillies usually go into a funk. I actually expected the Phillies to go into a funk last night versus Strasburg, but that wasn't the case. The Phillies pitching itself went into a funk. You get a 4-1 lead, you got to win that game. You have a 2-run lead late, you got to win that game. You're up 1 run with 2 outs and nobody on in the bottom of the 9th. You have to win that game, and you didn't win it. But overall, looking at it, 155, 152 you're seeing out there. It's going to be a really good pitcher's duel. You're more likely to see an under than you would over. But then again, when unders are that low at 7, man, one swing of the bat can get you there. 3-3, you grab yourself a push. You never know what's going to happen. But it is an afternoon game. Both of these teams should have A lineups in, because it's not one of those games you want to rest because of how important it is for the rest of the way down. We'll see if Wilson Ramos ever gets back in the lineup after getting crushed with 2 pitches that crossed him up over the weekend. Hasn't appeared in a game yet, so hopefully he gets back in the lineup if we are taking a look at the Philadelphia Phillies. Next one here up, the Indians and the Red Sox, one of the better pitchers in baseball. And hey, the joke is on David Price at this point. Imagine if he never picked up a joystick to try to play a video game, how good he could be. Since he's put it down, he's been sensational going up against Plutko. Not a lot of numbers on Plutko. He's more of a spot start type of guy. Been in the minor leagues. A couple of nice starts in the minor leagues over the past few weeks, but heading back up, it's never easy to go into Fenway and pitch well against any guy in Fenway. So we'll see what Plutko can do in that one. I don't have a lot of information betting-wise, but if we take a look at prices here, opened up at 170, 175, now sitting at 95, 200, somewhere in that range. I mean, obviously, Boston should win this game, but when Encarnacion comes back with a couple home runs, he's back in the lineup. Always a formidable lineup that the Indians are going to have. So getting a price like that usually is going to open up eyes. How's Plutko going to do against that Boston Red Sox lineup? And again, Boston's so far ahead of the pace that let's check out some lineups today. Maybe get a Mookie Betts sitting down. Maybe get JD Martinez sitting down. You might catch a break with that. So always some stuff that you do want to look at. Last one up, Giants and the Mets. The reason we bring it up, 2 big named pitchers here. Bumgarner, who hasn't had a very good road season based on his advanced numbers, and Jacob deGrom. Just seems like every time he goes out there, he dominates. If we take a look at the line here, opened up at 45, 50. Now sitting in that mid-50 range. Chris 158, Intertops 153, 5 Dimes 153. You know what you're getting out of deGrom each and every time. Bumgarner a little bit shaky on the road. If we take a look at some advanced numbers we have down at home, 2.62 xFIP for deGrom, which is sensational. Over his last 30 days, both home and away for deGrom, folks, 2.51. 2.51. That's outrageous. Taking a look at the Bumgarner, 5.29 xFIP on the road. So to me, if I'm looking at, it is a lot of money that you're going to be laying down, but there's no better feeling, it seems to me, than having deGrom at home on the mound to lay some cash with. But we'll see. It could be a pitcher's duel that sets up. It is a pitcher's ballpark. So if Bumgarner's struggling on the road, it's a nice environment to get into because it is a pitcher's ballpark here. So 3 good games on the afternoon docket. I'll be watching at 1 o'clock. I'm going to be really busy today, man. Setting some stuff up, because one of the most important things, if you see in the background above the football helmet, there is a humidor that's stacked. Always one of my toughest things when I go away. Which sticks are we going to bring with us? The victory stick, the heavy stick, the light stick, the I only got 30 minutes of smoke stick, the all the boys are hanging out 2-hour stick. Usually one of the hardest, forget about packing clothes. Hardest decision that Donnie Rightside makes when he goes somewhere for an extended period of time is what cigar we are going to bring with us. So that's what I'll be doing for the most part this afternoon. Slide it down one quick time here. Got about 7-8 minutes. I don't even know if there's a show behind us or anybody's even coming on, but I know we have usually about 55 minutes to spend, and that's what we'll use to our advantage here. NFL team preview. Taking a look at some stuff here. The Los Angeles Rams. What's not really to like about this football team? Really good. Good. Aaron. This is based on Aaron Donald getting back. Fantastic D-line, athletic linebackers, souped-up secondary, really good young football coach that knows offenses, knows how to put his guys in the right position. Jared Goff coming on strong at quarterback. You got the running back, one of the top 5 in the game in Gurley. You upgraded some wide receiver positions out there. What's not to like about the Rams? The one thing you could say is, yes, they're going to be hunted this year. Everybody's going to know about them. You're going to get a tougher schedule than what you had last year. You have Phil McVay's offense for an entire year, so maybe you can step that up. But the one key ingredient that always seems to get in the way, it's the one thing you like about New England. New England does change parts, but it's always Belichick. It's always Brady. It's always guys that work into the system. Are these guys going to come in and be individuals? Are they going to play as a team? Are they going to gel right away? Or some people going to want their shine? Some people going to want their payday? There's a lot of interesting characters that are going to be with the Los Angeles Rams. If we take a look at their schedule, open up on the road at Oakland, very winnable game. Arizona at home, Chargers at home in the Battle of Los Angeles. I don't know if anybody even cares about the Los Angeles Chargers in the city of Los Angeles, but certainly there. Minnesota at home. You go to Seattle, what are they going to be made of? Denver on the road, tough one. San Francisco on the road, tough spot. You get Green Bay at home, which is always nice. You get the Philadelphia Eagles at home, which is nice. So, there's a lot of stuff that you could take a look at that's going to go in their favor. And they're an overall really talented football team. But I would like to see Aaron Donald in camp getting ready to go, not holding out into the season or maybe not even showing up. I keep on hearing it's close. But every time we turn around with the Los Angeles Rams, they're signing somebody else. You're giving somebody else an extension. Give Aaron Donald the money, man. It's a one-man wrecking crew on the defensive line. You don't even have to have a good defensive end or another tackle next to him. Just let Aaron Donald run wild out there. And you don't want to pay the guy? At least in Philadelphia, we understood Fletcher Cox. You got to pay the guy. It's going to cost a lot of money, but he is the engine for your defense. Get him in there, man. You're going to win some football games. But if you see down low, to win the NFC West, you're not even plus money, a minus 170 to win that division. That's pretty impressive. That shows you what Las Vegas and what the bettors are concerned with, saying, you know what? The over-under is 10. You have to win 11 games to cash that season-long win total for the Rams. A lot of big things are expected for them. So we'll see what takes place. But they have all the components. As I said, coaching offensively, coaching defensively. The defense has a lot of talent. The offense has a lot of talent. We'll see what type of home field advantage they get still being in the LA Coliseum at this point. But that's a good football team that should have a pretty good football year. Any ideas out there in the chat box? What do you look? I love the Rams week 1. Yeah, it'd be interesting, at Oakland. I don't know what to get out of Chucky. That's going to be coming up soon. We're going to have a nice little panel discussion on Oakland and what that brings back. Because, I know Gabe, and I know Gabe's talked about it many times with the Oakland Raiders. Look, you're bringing back Chucky like $10 million a year as almost like a publicity stunt to head into Oakland to get some banners and people talking about it. We'll see if it actually reflects on the field and see what happens. Donnie, I think it'll be interesting how the Rams are probably losing Greg Olsen. Yeah, see, look, Ray, I like that point of view. And I really do hear you on that point of view. It's the same thing they're talking about in Philadelphia, but it is McVay's offense, It is Doug Peterson's offense here in Philadelphia. We lost Frank Reich and John DeFilippo, which I would much rather have them on the roster than not have them here. But you got to remember who's the brainchild behind the offense itself. Usually he's going to pick a right-hand man to get under him. But I hear you on that. It's a valid response when you're talking NFL football, where if an offense is rolling and you lose some key components, like when Shanahan leaves Atlanta or something like that, you're going to have something that's going to take place and be a little bit different. There might be a little bit of working out here, but most of the time McVay's going to call the plays. That's his offense. That's his baby. I don't think it's really going to affect him that much. Browns money line by Holly Dilly. Going after those Steelers. They're getting a lot of positive press here. I actually liked the Cleveland Browns, folks, in the last episode of Hard Knocks. Thought it came off a little bit better. And the funny thing is, you say what you want about Greg Williams. If I was a football coach, I would talk exactly like Greg Williams. I pretty much talk exactly like Greg Williams throughout my day at home when I'm by myself anyway. If I'm yelling at the dog or I'm getting angry at watching some film, or if I have a baseball game that implodes in the 9th inning, I pretty much talk like Greg Williams just about all day long. Chiefs Chargers over in week 1. Look, man, Mahomes, you say what you want in baseball when you try to equate two sports. What do you like in an over? Some advanced metrics, some stuff that both these pitchers should hit. And, oh, yeah, both these lineups should be able to hit. And, oh, yeah, both of these bullpens should get up runs. What do you like about Mahomes right now, man? Gunslinger, athletic, mobile, not afraid to take chances. That's amazing for an over-under, man, because you know what he's going to do. He's going to throw an interception or he's going to throw a touchdown. He's going to try to squeak it in there and make that big play. Fantastic to do that. So we'll see. But I don't know. You know me, folks. I lay low a little bit in the first couple of weeks of the NFL. I'm going to have my opinions. I'm going to like games. I'll probably bet games on the side. But I really get going week 3. I like to see how they come out, because it's not like the old days, man, where you played 5 and 6 preseason games and the offense played all the time. These guys really seen their first battle test in week 3, and they're not even in there that long. How many times do you want to play the whole first half, or you get coach speak saying, you know what, game 3, dress rehearsal, we're going to play the starters an entire half. And your team goes out on the first 2 drives, 6 plays, 52 yards and a touchdown. Next drive, 7 plays, 38 yards and a field goal. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. And these guys are only playing to the end of the first quarter, midway through the first quarter. And then all of a sudden you get them into September on a Sunday at 1 o'clock in 90 degrees, and they're not used to going the full 4 quarters. And a lot of times, even when I was back in college or high school, it's still a culture shock. We were on triple practices all summer long. You're exhausted. You're heated. I can't tell you how many times in a football game, just from emotion and nerves, where I would run my first, let's just say, slant pattern, even a post pattern, whatever it is, or just running my guy off on a running play, a 30-yard sprint, a 40-yard sprint downfield. It felt like I played an entire game, even though I played one play and there's 80 more plays to go. So it's always an interesting feeling when you're getting back into action doing that. Nolan knows. Mahomes throws 2 to 3 inch. He could, man. He could. Teddy B, Donnie B. Donnie, mark my words. Take the Vikings -6 against the Niners. That's a big game. That is a big game. I'm glad you brought that one up there because that's the one that I'm eyeing up the most. Are they for real? We talked about it yesterday, me and Jeff, on the roundtable. You're going to get a lot of focus here. Jimmy G's offense has video as a whole off season. You're going against one of the premier defenses in the league. You're going on the road. It's in a dome. It's going to be loud as hell. Vikings fans are going to be excited for that one. That's a huge game. If the Niners somehow pull that game out, I know it's game one. If they go 1-0, it's not the end all be all, but that might be a little, what we like to call measuring stick type of games that they can go in and handle. But Minnesota's going to be prime this year. They're going to be a good football team. It's going to be a tough one there. So we'll see what takes place. Let's see what else we got here. So we covered the Los Angeles Rams. Look, everybody knows we've been all through the summer. We're waiting for football to get there. We're going to have a ton of football on these panels over the weekend. We're going to hit every single team. And the best part about it there is we're going to have a lot of different people talking different angles and about what they like to look at. That's the best part of the IFBC, folks, because I'm setting my ways. A lot of these panelists are setting their ways. A lot of people in the chat box setting their ways. And a lot of people in the audience setting their ways. Don't be afraid to learn something. Something might click. Something that one of these panelists might say says, you know what? I never really looked at that bit of information. Not to say I'm going to use it, but let me check into that because that might help my handicapping to put the bottom line or put more money in my pocket. Every time you hear some little snippet, something that in the grand scheme of things, like the schedule quirk that maybe one team has, or heading into the football season, or how they did on the road, or in this environment how they did, or when they traveled 3 time zones and started the game early, something is going to click at the IFBC for us here. And it always does for me every single year as well, that when you listen into other people talk football and they make sense, you say, you know what? I'm going to have to check this guy out. Or B, I like what he's saying here. And I think this is going to matter in my capping. And it's all about making money. So look, Saturday, Sunday, be tuned in here. Sportsbookreview.com, at SBR Sports Picks on Twitter. We're going to be doing this live on stage. Get in the chat box. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be a lot of people watching live and on the chat box. Most of the talent, as I like to say at SBR, will be on display. But also, we'll all be in the chat box having fun, mixing it up. When there's other guys out there speaking, we'll be in here chatting it up. I don't think that made sense. That made sense. What a great point. I don't know if I agree with it. That's the best part of the chat box, man. Best absolute part of the chat box is you get a voice. You all in the chat box are going to have a voice at the IFBC. Chime in. I'll be there all weekend long in this chat box, harassing people, using sarcasm and having fun and listening in. Always be a sponge in this industry, man. Every single day that you can learn something new that can help your handicap. And I don't care if you're an old codger like myself, where I think I know a lot about certain things. Somebody's always bringing up a point that has me second guessing and say, you know what? Got to add that to my repertoire, at least check it out, or maybe take a look down the stretch. Well, folks, we are just about out of time right here. Thank you for joining me on a solo mission here. Thanks for hitting the like button down there. It was a lot of fun. Brad, Vitalis, Corey, Nolly Knowles, Lloyd, Ray, Dion, Paco. Yep, we got talent. Talent's all out there, Paco. Don't worry about it. Las Vegas, there's a lot of talent going to be around. We'll be spilling out to Fremont Street, but have a good afternoon. Me and the big man on campus. We'll be off for a while. No live show Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Now, we'll be on the panel, so technically we'll be live, but I will be staying an extra few days in Las Vegas with the wife to get a little R&R before football season and September 1st kicks up, with a multitude of things that we have going on. So I'll be back on the air next Thursday. Big Man on Campus will be coming back early in the week. He's probably going to be holding it down, doing some solo missions. But I thank you for tuning in today on the right side of campus. Check out everything we have on the networks here at sportsbookreview.com. Check us out, SBR Sports Picks. There is a subscription button right below where I'm talking right now. It says 45,000 people. I remember just starting here on the channels, we were down around 20,000 people. Thank you for helping us grow all along here. And I'm going to check out. I'm Donnie Rightside. I usually say, for my partner in crime, the big man on campus, we'll catch you later on the right side of campus. Have a great weekend, everybody. IFPC, here we come.